that we're going to make coffee churros, which is instead of having coffee or with your coffee, you can have a delicious pastry as well.
So we have our milk, our butter, our vanilla, our salt, sugar, cinnamon, and then we have our flour and egg and our nutmeg. So first what we're going to do is we're going to add our milk to our pot at a medium-high heat. Add the butter. We're going to add the vanilla, 1 cinnamon stick, salt, sugar, and nutmeg. Pretty traditional.
Okay.
And so we're going to let that come up to a boil, and then we're going to let it sit for 10 minutes and steep and absorb all those flavors.
Great.
We're going to go ahead and discard the cinnamon stick. We're going to bring it back up to a boil. So right here we have our flour and our coffee flour, and so this is a standard churro recipe that I would normally make. The only thing I did is I took about 15 grams of regular flour, AP, and added 15 grams of our coffee flour.
All right, so about 10%?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we're going to get our AP and our coffee flour together.
So one of the cool things and the reason why we have absolutely fallen in love with coffee bean flour is because it's the only type of flour that contains naturally occurring antioxidants and caffeine.
So once this comes back up to a boil, we're going to add our flour, and I brought my grandma's spoon in with me because we're going to need to vigorously spin this around because it's going to be, once you put the flour in, it's going to tighten up very quickly. All right, so it's back up to the boil. I'm going to add the flour in. And as you can see, it's coming together. It's getting very tight.
Yep.
And you just kind of want to, you really need a really, hard spoon for this. And you kind of want to keep it from burning on the bottom of the pan. All right, so now that that's incorporated, and I'm going to turn it off, and I'm going to let it cool just slightly, not too much, because you still want it to be kind of warm to hot when you add your egg in.
Okay. So now we're on a control freak, right, which doesn't have the retained heat. If
Exactly.
you're not on
So
a
once you
control
turn it
freak,
off,
you should take it off the stove.
take it right off the stove.
All right, take it off the stove.
So what you want to also do is you want to keep it moving, because the more you move it, the more it dissipates the heat.
Okay.
And so you can quickly get to your next step. Now, you want to add your egg one at a time. This is 2 eggs for this recipe. Again, you want to whisk it vigorously. Alternatively, if you don't want to put so much effort, you can just finish it in a stand mixer. I love this recipe a lot because it's very quick, and once you're done, you can get this in your bag and you can start making churros right away.
All right, so no resting period.
No resting period. All right, so this is ready to go into our bag, pastry bag. All right, so we're ready to go. I'm just gonna tighten this guy up. You want to do it while it's still warm.
Okay.
I'll give it a test to see how it comes out. And there it goes.
Perfect.
So we'll get our oil ready and we'll make some churros.
Cool.
And we have our fryer on at 350 degrees. So we're gonna go in here and do about 3 or 4 at a time. And we're just gonna pinch it off right about there.
I also like that you're making smaller churros and they're not all a foot long.
Yes, I actually am not a big fan of the really long ones. All right, so we'll just do that much. And we'll let that go for about 3-4 minutes until it's nice and golden brown, and then we'll get it on our blotter. Our churros that are already done, rolled it in a little bit of cinnamon, sugar, and a little bit of coffee flour in there too. Just a little tiny bit. And over here I have an apple pie puree that we're going to use as a dipping.
Let's go for it.
Let's do it.
All right, which one is not burning hot because these are freshly fried?
Yep, so the bottom, we got to go to the bottom, I think.
Too late. I already picked this one.
I'll take that one.
I'll risk it. Oh, it was so good.
That is delicious. That apple pie puree really comes through too. With the cinnamon and whatnot, it's really, really good.
So what you like about churros, crispy exterior, tender
on the inside.
Tender interior, that's what it is. It's not too sweet.
Nope.
You definitely get the coffee flavor. If you're someone who loves coffee, you're going to love this recipe because it has just enough coffee flavor. It's not overpowering.
Nope.
You get all the other notes, the cinnamon, the sugar, the apple puree comes through great. This is absolutely fantastic.